I'm blacker than BET, I'm blacker than EBT, I'm blacker than Eazy-E, I'm blacker than TLC, blacker than Escape and SWV, I'm blacker than 8 tracks and stacks of DVDs. We go back like flat tires, I'm blacker than Sapphire, blacker than Baptist churches down south with a black choir, blacker than smoke detectors that's beeping all through the year, blacker than sneaking snacks in the back of the movie theater. I'm blacker than Coltrane, blacker than Soul Train, blacker than gold teeth, earrings and gold chains, blacker than baby kids and even Sinead crib, blacker than everybody that used to be hating Chris. I'm blacker than black mamas that's cooking with Crisco, blacker than every thong affected by Cisco, blacker than roller skating and dancing a disco. I'm blacker than Martin and Bruh Man from the fifth floor, blacker than living single and even Keenan and Kel. I'm blacker than Love Island and baddies and BBLs. I'm blacker than nappy hair and hitting niggas with chairs, blacker than Don Julio with my vision impaired, blacker than home phones and asses that's homegrown, blacker than being back before the street lights come on. I'm blacker than Ho Hiding, I'm blacker than Flow Rider, I'm blacker than gang banging and slanging and low riders. I'm blacker than majorettes, blacker than black schools, blacker than reparations and 40 acres and mules. I'm blacker than Shaka Zulu and burning sages and hoodoo. I'm blacker than grandmamas that's cleaning houses and moo-moos. I'm blacker than Tracy Morgan, I'm blacker than Gracie's Corner, I'm blacker than Ali while knocking out George Foreman. I'm blacker than Motown, blacker than Roll Bounce, I'm blacker than brown bags that cover the 40 ounce, blacker than home remedies, lemon and tea bags, blacker than fried chicken and greens at a repast, blacker than don't you dribble that ball in my damn house, blacker than if I brought you in this world I could take you out, blacker than throwing fades, I'm blacker than playing spades, I'm blacker than dreadlocks, afros and box braids, blacker than black preachers, I'm blacker than black Jesus, I'm blacker than Exodus, Romans, Colossians and Ephesians, I'm blacker than all your cabinets that's holding all of your seasons, I'm blacker than breaking out into worship for no reason, I'm blacker than Listerine, I'm blacker than Mr. King, left every voice and sing until earth and heaven ring, blacker than Steve Harvey, I'm blacker than Marcus Garvey and all of my ancestors that made it possible for me, blacker than Jim Crow, the Underground Railroad, my fist is up and I'm proud, my nigga, and I say it loud, I'm black.
Some of you niggas ain't real. Some of you niggas ain't real. Some of you niggas ain't real. Some of you niggas ain't real.
All right. All right. Let's see if we've got sound. We should have sound. I'm hoping everything is clear. Because if it's not, it's gonna be kind of a bummer. But anyways. Yeah. We're here. And I know that this is not going to be, in a lot of people's eyes, a positive video, but a lot of things I say people don't look at as positive, but I'm positive I'm correct on this shit. And most of y'all know I'm correct on it. I have no problem with it. I mean, where we are in this world is it's open season on everything. And you can take it all the way to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue if you want to. I don't necessarily have to, but you can start there. But I can start right in my locality. I can start right in my locality. I have no problem with starting at home. Good morning, Brother Apollo. And that's where I'm going to be today. Do I sound like I'm on a CB radio this morning, Brother Apollo? I need to know that my audio is clear, because if anybody's going to tell me my audio is clear, you're going to tell me my audio is clear. You ain't going to hold them up. You ain't going to hold them up. So I appreciate that. Good morning to you. Good morning, Brother Donald. Good morning, Brother Donald. I just, when I receive things, I definitely don't respond to them the way I used to. And I've taken the advice from many to not always have to fight about everything. Oh, so my audio is not good. My audio is bad. Is that what you're saying? I need to know early because I will cut this shit off early. I have no problem. I'm 6 minutes in, and I'd rather know that my audio is not good 6 minutes in and cut it off, and then I will start all over again. So if my audio is not good, if I'm sounding like I am, oh, okay, okay. Let me know. I appreciate the sarcasm. I rock with the sarcasm, but okay, appreciate it, brother Donald. But right now, I'm a little sensitive to my shit. All right, I'm a little sensitive. So, oh shit, I didn't even turn on the camera. Hold on a second. Let me get the camera going, because we ain't hiding from nothing. We don't never hide from nothing. But I wanted to get this out today. This weekend was an interesting weekend in Ann Arbor, particularly Saturday. And one of the things that I've sat back and looked at over the last several years, well, since it's become a federal holiday, since it's become a holiday for all, it's now a national holiday. I've sat back and looked at Juneteenth. And Juneteenth has taken on a new life altogether. And much love to all my American freedmen out there. Much love to all my FBA out there. Much love to all my ADOS out there. Y'all know I don't name bang. I don't name bang. I've grown out of that. And I've had to learn that, if we are all of what that is, whether it be an American freedman, an FBA, and ADOS, if we all qualify to say we are that, then we are that. We are one. Because we know if we step to a legal classification, we have to use freedmen. I have no problem with people identifying as FBA, as I have no problem with people identifying with ADOS. Y'all know I was right where ADOS is by name a few years back, but things changed. Things changed. I was enlightened. And even ADOS, well, I won't say ADOS, even most ADOS understand the freedman classification, and they know that that's our legal classification. It's definitely not African American. It's not even Black American. It's not Negro. It's not colored. And I'm sorry for all you race soldiers out there, it's not nigger. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak as I always speak, as a Black man, because I have no problem with identifying as Black American. I have no problem with that. I have most problems with dealing with the African American situation now, because there's such a conflict there. What you say, Chico was scrap. Oh, long time no see. So I think you're talking about Chico DeBarge. I didn't go to the African American festival, but I heard it was a good time for folks who went. Folks enjoyed Chico DeBarge when he finally got there. I guess he was supposed to perform middle of the afternoon. They called it a midday headline. Well, Chico thought otherwise, and he got there right around the time that the actual headliner finishing out the night was supposed to perform, and he went from there. So hopefully they were able to rework all of their performers, and everybody, didn't have to stand around waiting for Chico. There were other things that they were able to fill in the time. I don't know anything about the festival, so I'm not going to throw any shade at it. But, as expected, I heard he sang, some of his family's music, which, because I didn't know Chico DeBarge should really even have any hits, but I guess he's had a couple hits. I don't know. I'm really not a big Chico DeBarge fan. I'm a DeBarge fan. I was a Switch fan. I'm obviously an El DeBarge fan. But I don't know Chico DeBarge's music much. So I heard he had some hits, and I'm not sure if he even sung his hits because people kept saying on their post, like, he needs to just sing this. Just go ahead and sing this. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe he didn't even sing his own hits, but he sang his family's hits. So, that's keeping it 100. His 97 album, Long Time No See, was Fly. Oh, 97. Okay, so he was popping. Chico was popping, in 97. I had no idea. 97, I was deeply entrenched into the NAC formats and other stuff like that, maybe even more classic R&B stuff, because that was what I was playing, in the NAC formats or smooth jazz formats. I really wasn't up on a lot of new music unless it was, some stuff that I was probably playing on the radio at that point. So 97. Okay, I got to go back and look. I got to go back a long time no see. Okay. I will have to go back and look and listen to Chico from 97. But anyway, I want to talk about this Carmelo Anthony thing, but it's not time for that right now. It's not time for that. First time I got to know a lady. Okay. Is that a title of a song, or are you just a testimonial? I don't know, Al Paulo. I don't know. But I am going to talk about the Carmelo Anthony thing, and I'll get on with it in just a bit here. But I'm just thinking about this weekend, And for those of you who might have seen the post that I put up on Facebook, this was it. Damn, Ann Arbor. That's just the way I was thinking, like, damn, Ann Arbor. Born and raised in Ann Arbor, it is still my town. I still look at that as, that's where I was raised, and I care very much for it, although I don't live in the city limits now. I'm very close to the city limits. I don't live in the city limits. I've been working in the city limits, over the last few years. And I've seen a lot more over the last few years, just being there on a daily basis, seeing how the city has grown. I love driving through downtown. I don't particularly love seeing some of the things that I see with the businesses that have been around for 20, 30, 40, 50 years closing up. Much love to the family who own Tio's. They just shut it down. And if you ever had a taco in Ann Arbor and you never went to Tio's, then you never had a taco. That's the way I have to look at it. I'm not gonna argue with your mammy. I try to tell people things. There's certain things you can tell about people who are from Ann Arbor, who come to Ann Arbor, and who are just passing through Ann Arbor. And the way I have to say it is, if you never had a taco from Tio's, you never had a taco in Ann Arbor. So, don't tell me you're from Ann Arbor and you don't know Tio's. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So the town has changed much. The people have changed much. The populations have changed much. Demographics up and down have changed so much in Ann Arbor. And I've embraced a lot of the change because I think things, need to move. But there's been some craziness that has happened over the last 10, 15 years. And I don't really use the word Black consciousness because I think it gets twisted up. I think it really gets twisted up the wrong way. So Black consciousness, to me, when I say it, I'm speaking for people who say that they advocate for Black Americans, and they should activate for Black Americans, because you have your advocates, but you have people who don't activate. You know, some people say they're activists, but they're not really activists. They're actorvists. They're actorvists. That is a word that, you know, somewhere in my mind I conjured up years ago, actorvist, because I believe we have a lot of actorvists around and not so many activists, you know. There are some activists around. There are, you know, but I believe that we have more actorvists around than we have activists. And we'll get into talking about some actorvists and activists in a bit. I think maybe even some of what I'm going to talk about here once I get through my opening monologue, because I'm taking my time with this shit. I'm gonna let you know I'm taking my time with this, because before I actually even get into the meat of all of this, I'm going to show how I've matured. I'm going to speak on myself, on my own maturity, how I have matured. And it's because of this maturity that I'm able to speak the way I'm able to speak on this situation. You know, I love Ann Arbor. I love where I'm from. I wouldn't trade growing up in Ann Arbor for anything else. I mean, there might have been a few places in this country that I might have wanted to be at certain points of my life if I was there during the certain times and certain time frames. But as far as my 0 to 18 years, I don't think I could have grown up in a better place, 0 to 18. You know, there were some places that I would have loved to have been when there were certain things going on in history in our country. But as far as growing up, I don't think there's any place better for me to have grown up, especially me, coming up in Ann Arbor. So I don't regret my upbringing in Ann Arbor. And shout out to anybody that is going to listen, view, not much to view. I mean, I'll have some images up, but you know, my thing is generally about the audio. You got to hear what I'm saying. If you hear what I'm saying, that's half the battle. If you look at me, then you know you've got other problems. So don't worry about it. Not really concerned with that. Ann Arbor has always, in my lifetime, been called a melting pot, and in many people's lives, you know, it's been called a melting pot. And I appreciate when people come in and watch my videos and listen to my videos. You know, I try to always say thank you, you know, because you don't have to be here. This is definitely, you know, I don't have like a scheduled podcast. You know, I'm not on all these different platforms. I'm actually trying out a new platform. I just heard about, someone told me to put my content up on Kick. I have no idea what Kick really is, but I just signed up for it. And my live is actually supposed to go out on Kick. Now, I have no idea if anybody even knows if my video is on. I don't know how their platform works, but I, you know, connected with connected my platform with the Kick platform, and I should be going live on Kick. So if anybody has a Kick account, let me know if you see my video on Kick. If not, no problem. So it's not going to be like it's that many people that watch it on any other platform, but I think this is going to go out on Facebook, YouTube, and Kick this time. So we'll see how it goes. And but yeah, I've been told I need to move on to some different platforms because of my messaging. And I understand the shadow banning and I understand all the stuff that happens on a natural basis. But I guess these other platforms give you a much wider range for you to do your content. And I think I need a wider range. Okay. I think I need a wider range. You know, I know some of y'all are going to try to crack a fat joke and say, yeah, you need a wide range. Yeah. Okay. Don't worry about that. You know, I'm in a zone where I'm singularly focused on what happened in Ann Arbor over the weekend. And I want to say right off the bat, I don't blame anybody that's not an American freedman. It's not an FBA. That's not an ADOS. It's not a Black American, an African American, a Negro, a colored person, because I'm specifically talking about a situation. When I say colored people, I'm specifically talking about the NAACP of Ann Arbor. The NAACP of Ann Arbor. And shout out to my brother who runs the NAACP in Columbus, Ohio. I believe we just now got connected on Facebook. I'll dig into a little bit of that because you're not going to hear me talk about Columbus, Ohio in any type of positive light on a normal basis. But I got some positive things to say about Columbus, Ohio. Generally, you're only going to hear me talk about Columbus, Ohio in these type of situations because come the last Saturday of November, y'all already know I ain't got no love for Columbus, Ohio. But today, and I've had it on other days where I've said some positive things about Columbus, Ohio. I'm going to say some positive things about Columbus, Ohio, and even talk positively about the NAACP, not of Ann Arbor, but of Columbus, Ohio. So Ann Arbor, Michigan has become a place where acceptance is the main thing. And I have no problem with people being accepted. I have no problem with that. I have a problem with people accepting me because if I am accepted, then I want access to. I don't need anybody to accept me if I have no access, because real acceptance comes with access. And some people just like the ability to be accepted, the capability, ability. I'm not sure exactly which word I need right there, but I'm going to use both so I can be right one way. Being accepted is one thing. Having access is another. On the flip side of that, giving someone access to your situation, access, does that automatically mean they are accepted? Because what happened in Ann Arbor over the weekend was, I believe, some folks were given some access, and I'm not sure if they were given the access because they are accepted. And if they are accepted, I have a question there. Or if they were just given the access because of what was going on. Now, I'm not going to be naive to say that I know that there was a little bit more going on than just a Juneteenth event in Ann Arbor over the weekend that was put on by the NAACP. It was much more that went on. They had a unity walk. They had a unity walk. I guess they have this unity walk normally, so that wasn't anything new. But but then they had a bunch of politicians out. A bunch of politicians were out, shaking hands, kissing babies, skinning and grinning with the NAACP collective and whomever else was there, whether they be American freedmen, FBA, ADOS, Black Americans, African Americans, Negroes, colored people, people of color, Caucasian, Latino, Asian, Middle Eastern. They were out there. The politicians came out because this event looks like it was more of a political event, because I saw politicians speaking with their political fare. I didn't hear much about the emancipation of American freedmen. I didn't hear much about the struggle from 1619 to 1865 and beyond, I heard a lot of political shit. And I didn't hear any political shit geared towards American freedmen, FBA, ADOS, Black Americans, African Americans, Negroes, colored people. And that's a problem. That's an absolute problem, because what are you there for? Are you there just to speak on your politics for everybody? Or are you there to speak on the politics of the people who are holding this event? And this is why I say I have no ill will towards anybody that put this that put anything into this festival that is not an American freedman, an FBA, an ADOS, a Black American, an African American. I want to get all the bases covered. Negroes, colored people, people of color. I have absolutely no problem with you. Who I do have a problem with is the NAACP, because you had one job and you didn't do your duty.
Negroes, do your duty.
I need you to do your job. NAACP, when you don't do your job, this is all you're going to get from
Negroes, do your duty.
I have no problem with calling shots. I'm sure the NAACP probably won't even see this video, because I don't think I'm Facebook friends with anybody that is connected to the NAACP. Man, you know what? I won't say that, because I actually do know a couple of people who probably will slide this information towards somebody who will probably slide this information towards the hierarchy of the local NAACP, the Ann Arbor NAACP. But this right here was, to me, such a step back. And in my post, let me actually just share this screen, because this is how I can show my maturity. Give me 1 second here. Let's let's see. How do I want to do this? Because I want to leave that screen there, right? Do I want to leave that? Yeah, I want to leave that one there. Let's go catch another screen. I think I can put multiple screens up and not be affected by it. So once again, anyone that sees this post, I appreciate you. I do appreciate you. It says share this tab instead. So let's do that. Let's get back to where we are here. Okay. Oh, I've got to take that off. All right, give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and take this damn Ann Arbor off. What up, y'all? Take this damn Ann Arbor off and put in this damn Ann Arbor. Okay. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that. All right. Well, this was the post that I put up originally last night. It said, damn Ann Arbor. And I captioned it, "The ancestors are pissed." Now, I know every ancestor might have not been pissed, because we had some, some mammies and some broken bucks back in the day that came through Ann Arbor, set up camp, built families, and still got some offspring running around here today. Oh yeah, we still got some second, third generation mammies, some second, third generation broken bucks still running around Ann Arbor or Washtenaw County or just period. They have some connection still. So, I put ancestors are pissed, hashtag Ann Arbor, hashtag Juneteenth, hashtag American Freedmen, hashtag ADOS, hashtag FBA, Black American, and then, of course, the villager on deck. And when I put this up, it says 13 hours ago. So 12 hours would have been 10:30 last night. So it was about 9:30 that I put this post together. Okay. And when I put this post together, I thought about going live, and then I was kind of involved with some other things. And I was like, you know what? If I'm not going to be able to dedicate my full attention to it, then I don't want to do it. I don't want to go live. But then not really even understanding that I was going to get some reactions, that I did. But I put it out there. It's kind of a cryptic post. I generally don't put cryptic posts out. I kind of come in, and then people started to chime in. Chef E chimed in. What? I put her up on it. What's up, Nicole? Cinda, she checked in. Kenny P, what's up, Kenny? Congratulations on that closing, brother. Keep moving. Keep doing your thing. My brother Robert, or Tony as I know him, checked in. Appreciate it. What up, Tanya? You never got me that screen that you were supposed to check out on that for that shirt. But that's okay. I know you're busy. But I needed to do that. So we're still trying to do that. But now we've gotten into the summer, and I'm getting pressured because I need to have that. It's not going to be for Juneteenth or anything like that, but it's supposed to be whatever. Brother Damon, he chimed in. Sister Akiba, how you doing? What's up, Gigi? How was the popcorn and broccoli last night? Gigi's not going to watch this because she never watches my videos. Frankie, I hit you up. Appreciate you. And Frank's from the Deuce too. Richard Lewis, without no explanation, this is clickbait. Huh? Clickbait? Why would it be clickbait? I'm not even sure exactly what that means. Especially when you don't spell the fucking word right. See, what y'all motherfuckers not gonna do is come on my shit with your bad grammar and spelling. I have no problem with bad grammar and spelling because I misspell shit sometimes. My grammar be fucked up sometimes, and I'm a motherfucking wordsmith. But when you come on my post trying to fuck with me on my shit and then can't spell the words correctly, motherfuck you, nigga. Who the fuck are you to come on my shit and gonna try to talk about me and you're not even spelling words correctly? You bitch nigga, I'm not even sure who the fuck you are. Richard Lewis. Isn't there a comedian named Richard Lewis? Maybe he's the comedian. I don't know. Maybe he's the comedian Richard Lewis because he told bad jokes and this motherfucker told one too. And the worst joke he told was the fuck that he couldn't spell bait. Bait. Click bait. B-A-T-E. What school system did you go to, motherfucker? I want to slap every motherfucking English teacher that you had, bitch. The fuck is wrong with you? What's the difference between any other news he sheds? Oh, so you follow my content, motherfucker? Wow. Let me go and open the rest of this up. What's the difference between any other news he sheds and displays info compared to this? A little clarity would help. Motherfucker, a little dictionary would help. What the fuck is wrong with you, nigga? Really? What's the difference between any other news he sheds? First and foremost, I'm not a news reporter, bitch. Okay? Have been that, have done that, but I'm not that today. I get a thought in my head and I can spew it out. But who the fuck said that I'm your news broadcaster? Who the fuck says that I bring news? No, I shed light, bitch. I shed light. I shed light on truth. And you know what? I do it with the ability of being able to spell fucking words. What's the difference between any other news he sheds and displays info compared to this? A little clarity would help. I'm going to give you as much motherfucking clarity as you need, nigga. I'm going to give you all the motherfucking clarity you need. Who the fuck liked your shit, too, when you said it? Who the fuck? Kenny, nigga, don't die on this vine, Kenny. And who the fuck is Amnesty Austin? I don't know who the fuck you are either. Y'all co-sign that shit? Y'all co-sign this nigga shit? Come on now, Kenny, I will call you on the phone. You already know that. I don't know who Amnesty Austin is. What the fuck? Stephen Taylor said, now what? Stephen, now, you've had some controversial shit to say on my post recently, and I didn't even snap back at you because it really wasn't my thing to do. I think some other people, handled the situation appropriately, and I appreciate them doing so. I was busy, really busy at the time. You was leaving a lot of your shit, and I was like, I ain't got time to get into it with Stephen. But now what? You about to find out what, Stephen. But we ain't done with Richard Lewis, whoever this motherfucker is. We ain't done with him. I'm just got to get to the other comments. Jeremy Price, what happened? Okay, you about to find out, Jeremy. And Paulie, wow, too bad to disclose, huh? Shaking my head. No, it's not too bad to disclose. I just didn't have the time to disclose it. So I apologize for putting the post out there and letting it hang for all night. But I didn't have time to do what I needed to do. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to get back into what I have to do, and then we work it from there. So it's that G-Rod Sturgis. What's going on? What's going on, G-Rod Sturgis? And Cammie Shantae Abram, how you doing? You come in here laughing, Cammie. What did I say funny? I don't know. See, I don't know what I say funny because a lot of shit I say and people be laughing at it. I don't even think it's funny, but it do be funny. But I've never seen either one of you in my chat, and I appreciate both of y'all stopping through, whether you stay, for a long time or you just passing through. So I appreciate it. We about 37 minutes into this motherfucker, and I'm about to get into the meat of what I wanted to talk about. But I had to go to this post because this is what started it all. It's something always starts it, right? Something always starts it. So I had to go to this post. So, I wanted to do that. And before I get into the meat of the shit I'm gonna talk about, let me get my iced coffee. Hey, make sure y'all celebrating Black Music Month. Okay, and that Black Music Month is Black American Music Month. I know a lot of y'all, when y'all talk about Black music, y'all put in everybody. No, this is Black American Music Month. Okay, make sure y'all celebrating. Now, I've had to cut out a lot of music that I normally listen to on a regular basis. I'm not even listening to El Mean. Everybody knows that I am a huge fan of El Mean now. All right, but I am not even listening to El Mean this month, and I've had to skip it past. He's come up in the playlist because I listen to his music so much, but I've had to skip past him. You know what I'm saying? But what I might do, I'm gonna see if I can do a cheat. If I can do a cheat and listen to El Mean, but only sing Black American music, because El Mean does a lot of covers for American Freedmen artists. So if he is singing an American Freedmen artist, could I listen to that technically because that's considered Black American music? Now, El Mean's not from America, so he's, he doesn't classify. He's Black, but it's Black Music Month, and it's Black Music Month for Black Americans. Here comes the world beat. Hey man, the Afro beats and the world beats and all that shit, to each his own. Y'all do what y'all want to do out here. I have no problem with anybody liking whatever they want to like. I have no problem with that. But this is Black Music Month, and this is Black American Music Month, okay? We don't call it American Freedmen, Music Month. We don't call it FBA, Music Month. We don't call it ADOS Music Month, but that's what the fuck it is. It is absolutely Black Music Month, Black American Music Month, American Black Music Month. This ain't got shit to do with the diaspora, okay? Please understand that. But we're going to show Bobby. I can't, look, man, Bobby came on yesterday, dog. Bobby came on yesterday, and as much as I wanted to put on, the macadamian mood, man, I couldn't do it. I couldn't listen to White Chocolate yesterday. I couldn't do it. Bobby done popped up. Gino Vanelli done popped up. Hall and Oates done popped up. All them motherfuckers that got that soul background done popped up. Your boys done popped up. When your niggas pop up, dog, first thing I think about is you, dog. When your niggas, the Bee Gees, when they pop up, first thing I think of is Apollo St. Charles. Real shit, dog. Real shit. I've always known about the Bee Gees. I knew about the Bee Gees before I knew about Apollo St. Charles. But the whole thing is, I can't even listen to them brothers. But because they were so deeply rooted in soul music and things like that, you think I'd give them a pass? Can't give them a pass. Cannot give them a pass. Can't give them a pass, bro. And I can't give Bobby C a pass. Rest in peace. We lost him not too long ago. But I can't even give Bobby C a pass. I would love to play some of the artists who I know were highly influenced by Black American artists, but this is Black Music Month. We stick with Black music. Okay, not influenced by Black music, but Black music. Okay, that's where we at with this shit. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna stay with Black music. So I gotta have my principles on this shit, because if everybody had principles on this shit, you know what? I probably wouldn't even be making this video. If everybody was about the principalities, I wouldn't be making this video. See, everybody don't stand on principles. Everybody don't stand on business the way they're supposed to stand on business. And what I'm talking about is about standing on our business. So I titled this thing, as we working, we got 40 minutes in now. We're 40 minutes in, 41 minutes in. I titled this thing, A2 Juneteenth, hijacked or handed over. Yeah. This month, I got to take Darius this month over the Bee Gees. I got to. Darius is a brother. I got to take Darius this month. I got to stand on my principles. If I don't stand on my principles, what am I doing here, Apollo? What am I doing here? I got to stand on my principles, bro. I got to stand on my principles. Everybody don't stand on their fucking principles, and that's why we in the shape that we in this bitch. For real. This is why we in the shape that we in this motherfucker, because we not standing on our principles. And I hope my sound is continued to stay crisp. Apollo said it was crisp. Donald said it was crisp. Donald probably not even here anymore. He probably working and shit. I think you say you on the road. Then you say, Apollo, hold on one second. Let me make sure. Yeah, hopefully I'm still sounding the way I need to sound. Okay. I know you understand me, brother. And this is why I fuck with the younger collective now. That collective, the mid late 30s all the way up. I can fuck with y'all because y'all understand both sides. Y'all understand the aspect where I'm coming from. I'm the old cat, but then you understand the new shit that I'm bringing into the game. And I appreciate everybody that has understood me all along. But for some of those people who have not understood me, they've chosen not to understand. They've chosen to miss the point on purpose. And that's okay. I have no problem with people missing the point on purpose. I do the shit myself. I will absolutely miss the fucking point on purpose if it doesn't serve me to make the point. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I just do that. So, but over the weekend, Ann Arbor held their annual Juneteenth festival. And like I said, I know that there were some other things that were connected to it. There was Unity Walk, and then they had some politicians come on out because it is an election year. It is an election. It's not just the midterms. I know everybody talking about the midterms, but we got some big local elections here. We got some big state elections happening. So, the politicians came on out. Okay? The politicians came on out. I don't even really care about that much. Because I know if there's going to be a camera and a microphone and it's during an election period, you're going to see some politicians. I absolutely expect that. I don't even think that it would be even logical or reasonable or whatever to think that politicians not going to show up during an event, whether it be for the emancipation of Black people, to not come out and just talk about politics, because they're not going to come out and talk about just Black people's politics. They're going to come out and talk about politics in general. Okay. I mean, It is what it is. They've generally got one spiel that they're gonna give to you, then they're gonna go to the next event and they're gonna give that spiel, and they're gonna go to the next event. Now, if that event changes, with the color schemes and whatnot, they gonna cater a little bit more to the black crowd. When it's just a general crowd, then they're gonna talk about the DEI and the this and the that, But when it's just black people, they gonna talk about affordable housing and getting you some health coverage and shit, and then balling in the park and doing stuff like that. We gonna do all that shit for y'all. Okay. Ain't nobody talking about literacy. Okay. Ain't nobody talking about 6 out of 10 of our kids can't fucking read when they graduate from high school. Ain't nobody talking about that at these things. Was there anything about literacy at the Juneteenth? Because if there was, I want to know. If there was, I want to be put up on it. If there was anything spoken about black literacy at the Juneteenth event on Saturday in Ann Arbor at Willard Park. Did y'all talk about black literacy? Okay. And we can take it all the way and just be global with it, black literacy, because as we know in this country, only half of the people can read over a 6th grade level. So how many people do you think that means for black people? Okay. We in a bad way as adults, but I'm talking about child literacy. 6 out of 10 cannot read proficiently when they're graduating from high school. They can't even read the diploma that they're given at graduation efficiently or proficiently. So why are they getting the diploma? Because no child is left behind until they become an adult, and then they can't do shit. But let's keep the main thing the main thing. Okay, let's keep the main thing the main thing. See, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to find some things out. I'm going to condemn, but I also want to know, did they talk about child literacy? Okay. And in Ann Arbor and in Washtenaw County in general, they like to always talk about affordable housing. Well, affordable housing for black people in Washtenaw County generally means low income housing. Well, what's been going on in these low income housing cooperatives and apartments and different things like that? What's been going on, and what have you been finding? What have you been hearing about? You've been hearing about black mold being all over, just running rampant in all of these places. Do y'all realize what black mold does to black children? Hell, black adults. It lowers their cognitive abilities. And you know what lowering your cognitive abilities will do? It will lower your ability to fucking learn. Why can't Johnny read? Because Johnny's cognitive abilities have been diminished because Johnny growing up in the motherfucking black mold. You can call it Vista View if you want to. But if it's got black mold in it, is it really a Vista View? I mean, Sycamore Meadows, right now, you've got people all through that complex living, and this isn't specifically in Ann Arbor, living in hotels because they can't live in their homes because of black mold, because of sewage problems. This is a subsidized community. Subsidized. It means there's some government money flowing through it. And this is how the government is allowing things to go about. I know there's property managers and there's somebody who actually runs the place and there's property managers, this, that, and the other. I get that. But a lot of the people, if not all of the people, have some type of subsidy that lives out here, which means the government is involved, which means the government should be put to task. Not just the property manager, not just the person who owns the development. The government, your politicians, the ones you vote into office. But nobody gives a shit about that. But speaking of Ann Arbor, absolutely, I've heard of black mold being in all of the subsidized communities. Your North and your South Maples, your Pine Lakes, your University Townhouses, your Forest Hills. The only ones that probably don't, sandalwoods, the only ones that probably don't have black mold in them that are subsidized are these new ones that they done put up. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming. It's absolutely coming. So, Platte Road, yes. I'm sure there's black mold everywhere where there's black people in Ann Arbor. Absolutely. I'm saying on the renting side, people that own their homes and things like that, that's a different situation. Was anybody there talking about the black mold issues? Was anybody there talking about literacy? Was anybody there talking about something other just affordable housing and this and the that and the D? Was anybody there talking? Come on, man. Y'all will stand there and listen to the same shit from the same politicians and keep voting these motherfuckers in, and they don't do shit for you. So I guess it's just same and same. You listen to the same shit, you vote for the same shit, you get the same shit. Nothing. So we got to a position of it's that time of year. It's that time of year, and everybody's going to celebrate. For me, I still don't look at Juneteenth as a celebration. I mean, I'm absolutely happy we're free, but it should also be a commemoration. It should also be a walk back in our history to know where we were to where we are. It can't just be we free, we gonna party. It can't just be that. If that's all it's going to be is just going to be a party, then what does it really mean? And when I say that the ancestors are pissed, I'm speaking of those who laid down on the line for us. They allowed us to be here. They allowed many more people to be here who are not American freedmen, who are not ADOS, FBA, Black Americans, African Americans, if you want to call it that, colored people, Negroes. No, the Dems have not. The Dems have chosen to stay with the same playbook. And Apollo, why would you change the playbook and change the plays if the plays that you running still work? You know what I'm saying? You know, being connected to sports and understanding if you got a play that's allowing your team to just score, or you've got a play that's allowing your team to stop the other team from scoring, why would you change it? Why would you change it? And the Democrats have been just that. They have set up a playbook to where they can continue to win. And the people that they don't want to win, they have ways of being able to stop them. And like I said before, they can make it look like they want you to win, but they ain't gonna never let you be great. They ain't gonna never let you be great. The Dems might let you be good. We talking about black folks. We're talking about black Americans. They might let you be okay. They might let you be fair. You might even be able to get to good. But the Dems ain't gonna let you be great. They've proven that. They don't want that. Because if you get to be great, and I'm talking about solvent great, you don't need the Democrats anymore. So who gonna vote for them? That's why they hijacking in the new class of black voters, the people of colors. They're having a hard time with them because they ain't coming easy. The Dems ain't been able to get the people of color as easy as they got the black folks. But look what it took for them to get the black folks. Yeah, it is, brother. Me and Apollo just sitting here having a conversation as we always do. Probably we'll talk after this video. But the Dems are what the Dems are. Now that I know what the Dems are, it's why I'm an independent voter. I plan to even register this month. I'm gonna probably do it this month. Change my status because I think I am a registered Democratic voter. I would change my status to independent. Because what's the point of being a Democrat? Now, if I vote for a Democratic candidate, that's one thing. But like in Washington County, we've got our primaries. You got to be a straight ticket voter. You got to be a straight ticket voter. You got to vote all Democrat or all independent or all Republican. I think it's some of the dumbest shit out. And I don't know if there's other places that have that because I don't know much about voting on the outside of this area. But I think it's some of the goofiest shit. And I truly believe that it people want to talk about voting rights. I think it actually takes our voting rights away when we can't vote for the actual candidate that we want to vote for, that we just got to vote for a party. I think that's bullshit. And I don't know who voted for it, but I think it needs to be stopped. Because I may like a Democrat over here, but then I might like an independent guy over here. Who the fuck knows? I may even like a Republican guy over here. I don't know. Because if they're acting in my best interest and in my people's best interest, then I'm going to go for that. Why shouldn't I be able to vote? They always talk about working across the aisle. How come I can't vote across the aisle? Has anybody ever really thought about that? You ever hear politicians talk about, I work across the aisle, we're going to work across the aisle, we're going to work across the aisle. How come politicians can work across the aisle, but voters can't work across the ballot? What'd you say there, Apollo? I didn't teach you everything I know. I taught you everything you know. Okay. You know what? I remember that line. He said, you fight great, but I'm a great fighter. I remember that shit. I remember that. All right. We're approaching an hour. And I guess probably to many, I ain't said shit because I ain't talked about what I came to talk about. But I did. I had almost an hour monologue. Y'all ain't gonna like that. I get it because most of y'all don't even understand why I do this, why I say what I say. You know. But I just want to let y'all know I have matured. And that's why I didn't just jump out in the street about this situation, leaving this post last night. I could have really jumped out in the street. Now, what I am going to do, though, this motherfucker right here, well, I got 118 mutual friends to this motherfucker. I don't know you, nigga. You may know me. You must know me because you say you came and seen some news that I spread before. And I didn't shed much light on it then, and I'm got shit. So this is it says from Ann Arbor. Okay. So maybe I know some of his people. I don't know. Maybe his people know me. I don't know, but I don't know this nigga. We've never talked. It's crazy. Wait a minute, though. I can't go too deep into that because I think I might know this motherfucker. But anyway, without no explanation, this is clickbait. What I need you to do, Richard, because somebody gonna tell your motherfucking ass that I said something about you in my video. Come back because there's an edit button you can hit. I'm gonna give you the ability to edit your shit. Now, I'm not gonna say anything about it once you edit it, because once you edit it and once you clean it up, I ain't got to say nothing about it. But I'm talking about your monkey ass right now because you fucking got on my shit, tried to run me down on my own post, and then couldn't spell all your fucking words correctly. Now, if you're going to do all this talking on my post, I need you to be correct. I need your shit to be correct, because if I happen to see it, and I could have easily run it down right on the post, but I didn't even pay fucking attention to it because I knew I was leading up to this video here. But since you chose to jump out there in the middle of motherfucking traffic, Mr. Lewis, come back but come back with a dictionary, okay? And you don't even need the motherfucking dictionary. It's BAIT. Okay? Clickbait. I know what you was trying to say. I could see it. I could phonetically sound it out. I know bait. I know that. But that's not the kind of bait you're talking about. Okay? That's not the kind of bait we're talking about. All right? So we need you to stay on point. Get you a motherfucking dictionary. Go to dictionary.com. Go to Merriam-Webster. Go wherever you need to go. Just Google it. Just how do you spell clickbait? And it'll give you the whole word. You got click right. So I'm going to give you 50%. But 50% is still a failure in class, right? Right, Richard? You said you from Ann Arbor. You from Ann Arbor Public Schools? Because if you went to Ann Arbor Public Schools and you spell bait like this, motherfucker, and you a great motherfucker too. You ain't young. You got gray in your shit. And you spell bait like that, motherfucker, come edit this shit. Will somebody please tell Ken and Amnesty, get a hold of Richard and let him know he needs to reevaluate his post and let him know how you heard about his post being fucked up. Okay, I have no problem with that. All right. I have no problem because this is my motherfucking post. This is my motherfucking Facebook page. And you decided to come on over. We're not even Facebook friends, Richard. How did you get here? How did you get here? Your ass ain't supposed to be here. Uh-oh. Apollo vouching for this motherfucker. You vouching for him, Apollo? You vouching for him? Was y'all in English class together, motherfucker? If you vouching for him, how come you didn't help him out in English class? When y'all was doing y'all spelling tests and shit, what kind of grades was he getting? Because right now he's at 50%. He tried to spell clickbait and he only got click right. Okay? You already know how I am, Apollo. I'm only going to call shots when I need to call shots. And a motherfucker run up on my shit and try to run me down on my shit. And you're not even going to spell the words correct? Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Don't do me like that. You know what I'm saying? You have one fucking job and you couldn't spell that word right. You know what you need to do? You need to do your duty, Richard.
Negroes, do your duty.
And I mean do your duty fast.
Negroes, do your duty.
Ooh. I got iced coffee and I got hot coffee. I'm going back and forth just trying to keep everything level this morning. So trying not to drink too much because I don't want to have to go pee. But anyways, so yeah, Richard, I'm just saying, I don't know who you are. Maybe you do know who I am, but I don't know who you are, even though I think I might know who you are. But it looks like Apollo says he knows who you are. Apollo vouched for you. He was a grade above you. Okay. Well, damn. He didn't tutor you, did he? If he was older than you, he didn't tutor you, hopefully. I know he didn't tutor you because I know your ass can spell. So I've seen your writings. I've seen your scribes. Yeah, so that's what that's about. The post started, and it caught legs the different way because I really thought I was just going to back it up with a live last night. But then when I got going and some other shit and I couldn't get, I was like, you know what? I'll do it tomorrow. And I decided to do it this morning because I need to let out some fucking steam. And Richard, unfortunately, you are the beneficiary of that steam. It's unfortunate. Let me see. Did anybody else leave anything on here? Let me see. Might have been a couple more. Is there any more? Because I've been sitting here. Nobody else left anything. No. Okay. So hopefully this will connect to the post. People will understand. Y'all been acting silly today. About these politicians out here. But we want to stay on task. Let's keep the main thing. All right. So let's just jump out in the street. God damn it. Let's just jump out in the street. I mean, This is where we at, y'all. This is where we at. This is this past Saturday's Juneteenth celebration in Ann Arbor, Michigan, put on by the Ann Arbor NAACP. Backdrop of Ann Arbor, the backdrop of the medical center there, / the old St. Joe Hospital, / where I was born, / where a legend came in. What does that say? Building our future together. I can't really see the bottom part of that thing. It says, I believe it says building our future together. This was sent to me. I get sent these things. When I get sent these things, I just look at them. Much of the time, I just look at them, and then I laugh, then I frown. You know, some of the things, unfortunately, they're enough to make you cry, but I'm not crying over this. I'm not crying over this, because this is exactly what Ann Arbor is at this point. Now, let me start here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Verifiably, I can see 6 white people in this page. Now, if they are not ethnically white, I'm sorry. But I see you as white because I know you're not black. The 2 people carrying this flag or sign or board, whatever it is, are absolutely not American freedmen. I can guarantee that. I don't know exactly who they identify as ethnically, but I definitely know they're not American freedmen. Okay? I definitely know that. This is just between, me and my eyes. I know that they're not American freedmen. If somebody can tell me that they're American freedmen, then, maybe they are. But I don't think so. But they're indeed a part of the Ann Arbor NAACP Juneteenth celebration, as I guess they have the right to be, because they were either invited or they volunteered and their services were utilized. None of my concern. Building our future together. Building our future together. That was the theme, I guess, of the 2026 Juneteenth celebration put on by the Ann Arbor NAACP. And they absolutely need to keep the CP. They can't even be BP, can't be black people, have to be colored people, because only colored people are going to do some shit like this. Let's call it a fucking bean. You're only going to have colored people do something like this. You're not going to have black people do something like this. You're not going to have American freedmen do something like this. You're not going to have FBA do something like this. You're not going to have ADOS do something like this. You are indeed going to have colored people do something like this. Yeah, you might even have some African Americans do something like this. Some of you African Americans would do something like this. I know you would. I absolutely know that you would do something like this. You African Americans. And once again, I want to go back. I'm going to say this a couple times because I've been on here so long. I want anybody to understand, I hold no ill will against anybody that was not an American freedman, FBA, ADOS, black person out there. I hold nothing against them because, as people like to say, it's a free country. It's a free country. You have the right to be in this country, where you want to be in this country. And where these people are, I believe, in all honesty and all fairness, I believe these are probably some pretty good intentioned, well-intentioned folks. Not even going to say anything negative about them because there is absolutely nothing for me to say negatively about them. But when I look at this image and I see more Caucasian people than I see Black Americans, it's interesting. And I'd seen several images. After I got this picture, I ended up getting this picture. And this picture, taken at the same Juneteenth celebration, put on by the Ann Arbor NAACP, at Wheeler Park, Summit Park, as we used to call it, until it was named after Mayor Wheeler. Black man? A black man. Sorry. Did I get that covered up? A black man. Hey, Carla, how you doing? Yes, you caught the light. We've been in here about 70 minutes now. I've been, been speaking about some different things, and we're just kind of getting into the reason why I'm here. I guess the whole reason why I'm here is the whole 70 minutes, but this is the main subject matter of why I'm here, Carla. These three individuals I know to be politicians here in Washtenaw County, I believe. They're politicians. It's Caucasian men. They probably spoke at the Juneteenth celebration on Saturday. I don't know for sure if they all did. If they didn't speak publicly, if they weren't given the stage, but I don't think they really had a stage. They were kind of standing up on the concrete, if they didn't speak publicly to everyone, they probably were able to pass out their political propaganda for the platforms that they're running for office on. And, shake hands, kiss babies, skin and grin, as politicians do. Can I blame them for that? No. Do I blame them for that? No. Politicians are going to go where there's a camera and there's a microphone. That's where they're going to go. That's what they have to do. I mean, you have some that are really about beating the pavement, knocking on doors, not being so concerned, but those people generally lose nowadays. Those people don't win elections anymore. I know everybody likes to use the term grassroots, but most of these politicians really aren't grassroots anymore. They let social media and let all the other shit run their campaign for them. I mean, look at she's out now, Jasmine Crockett. She tried to run her whole campaign through social media, didn't even hire a campaign manager to run for senator. Come on, man. How do you not have a campaign manager? How do you think you can win a national election or a national seat in a state like Texas without a campaign manager? You have absolutely no chance. But these situations have come to pass because I feel like certain people aren't standing on what they're supposed to be standing on. And I know that the NAACP has changed over the years. It's really, really changed. I mean, hell, I was publicly introduced to the NAACP 35 years ago when I had went through some things with the Ann Arbor Police Department, and I was actually sent to go speak to the president of the NAACP back then, back in 1991. People can look up the date. They'll know who the president is. I'm not voicing his name today because he still got people that's connected to the NAACP today. And I was being harassed wrongfully by the Ann Arbor Police Department, and I was told to go talk to the NAACP, and it was actually a test. And being harassed by the Ann Arbor Police Department, at that point, I went to the NAACP and talked to the president of the NAACP, and the president of the NAACP told me that I should go talk to the police. I would never make it up. I've spoken this many times. What could they possibly have to say in regards to Juneteenth? You know, Mila, I don't know. What's good, Hitta? I don't know. And here's the thing. I don't even care. The fact that they were given the platform to speak, and it didn't come over them to just speak solely on issues for American freedmen, ADOS, FBA, Black people, Black Americans, African Americans, colored people, Negroes. That's crazy to me. I mean, I could see it if it was, they had the unity walk, okay? And the unity walk was probably meant for everybody, okay? Because it wasn't a Black unity walk, it was a unity walk. So the unity walk was probably meant for everybody to come out. Now, I don't know how many ethnicities they had. I don't know if they counted and said, hey, what are you? What are you? If they got into a big circle and they made, hands over America type shit. I don't know. Don't even care. What I care about is why the NAACP put Juneteenth and politics into the same pot and cooked it, because that's all this was a political event. And is Juneteenth supposed to be a political event? Because politicians are going to go where they're going to go. They open church doors to Black churches, open church doors to politicians all the time to come in and speak their spill, looking to garner votes. And they can talk about the same exact thing: affordable housing, better health care, DEI. DEI is most recent, but it's all, fighting white supremacy. I mean, it's the same shit. And nothing ever happens out of it, but that's what they come in. They come in with those 3 bullet points to try to sway voters. It is what it is. But I don't look at these individuals being wrong, because they're just going where they're given the privileges to go. DJ Oliver, you are looking at 3 politicians down at Wheeler Park, also known as Summit Park, at the Ann Arbor NAACP Juneteenth celebration, building our future together, I believe was the moniker. This was this past Saturday. You obviously did not DJ this event, DJ Helliver. I don't know who DJ'd the event. What kind of music did they play? Did they play all Black American music? Because it's Black American Music Month. Did they play all Black American music? What'd you say, Carla? They go where the money is. Pour into that. When it's totally capitalized, they move on. and never invest. If they do decide to invest, it's an illusion already taken over. Hey, I'm not laughing at what you're saying, but yeah, sometimes you laugh when the truth is just there, you know. And I understand that the NAACP is funded by a lot of organizations who are not black. I do understand that. I do understand that. Yes, the NAACP, you know, the Colored People's Organization, local chapter, Ann Arbor, local chapter. I know. I get it, sis. I get it. I appreciate it. But when I look at things like this, and I look at things like this, I don't know what to say other than what I'm saying. What'd you say, Mila? Considering the origin of Juneteenth, I fail to see why the heavy presence of the clear people and their politics. I'm sorry. Where are the people that was downtown last weekend? I don't know. I don't know. You know, it's crazy. It's like the NAACP holds this event on the 13th, but then on the 6th, there was a whole different event that was held up at, you know, what was that, 4th and Ann? And it doesn't resemble that event. The NAACP's Juneteenth celebration does not resemble the African American festival up on 4th and Ann. Odd to me, strange to me. I'm looking for the connections here. You know, why couldn't they have had a unity walk from 4th and Ann down to Wheeler Park? And why isn't the African American Festival just put on at Wheeler Park? Why is it put on at 4th and Ann? What is the benefit for it being put on at 4th and Ann? None of them businesses are open. So, you know, it ain't like, you know, and most of those businesses are not black owned anymore. If I'm not mistaken, I don't believe there's a black owned business in that corridor anymore. So it's not like you can really go in those businesses, you know, and see the history of black Americans, because, you know, black Americans did, you know, they did do some shit in that 4th and Ann area in Ann Arbor's history, but not anymore. Not anymore. And I don't believe any of them are open anymore to where people can go in and have it be almost like a museum-like atmosphere. Maybe even for the people that own the businesses presently, they can come in and say, you know, this used to be this, and this used to be this, and this used to be that, and this used to be that. You don't see that shit. Them businesses are closed on Saturday. They shut their shit up Friday afternoon. They'll see your ass on Monday. They shut their shit down on Friday afternoon and they'll see you on Monday. Meanwhile, I'm trying to blow up this picture. I need a closer look. Oh, you don't want me to talk about that now, do you, Mila? Why was there no collaboration? Well, here's the thing. I can only speculate why there was no collaboration between the NAACP and the people that put on the Ann Arbor African American Festival downtown Ann Arbor. I can only speculate. And I won't even throw too much out there, but you have two different entities with two different ideologies, and they both mean absolutely nothing for Black Americans. Okay? I think one thinks they're about change, and I think the other one's just trying to get some change. Now, you take that for what it's worth, and you put them spots where you need to put it. I'm not going to soul train, scramble board, nothing for nobody, because I'm not here to talk about either one of them motherfuckers. What I'm here to talk about is this shit that y'all seeing on your screen. And I don't give a fuck who likes it and who doesn't like it. But everybody understands when you have leadership that puts on to put on, and this is, from what I know, the leader of the local Ann Arbor NAACP, when they put on to put on, what else are we going to get? What else are we going to get? When we can't even get the colors right, how else we going to get anything else? Now, if he was heading to an Afro Beats festival, if he was heading to a reggae festival, I get it. If he was heading to the African World Festival down at Hart Plaza, I get it. But we celebrating Juneteenth, right? And if we celebrating Juneteenth, why are we not wearing Juneteenth colors? Can I get some Juneteenth colors? How come I can't get no Juneteenth colors for Juneteenth? Why am I looking at Pan-Africanist colors on Juneteenth? Look at this motherfucker here. I don't know why, but this is where we are. When you have this, look, man, there should be 3 crayons in this Crayola box, Jack. You already know this. There should be 3 colors in this crayon box, and they should not be red, yellow, and green. We know what the colors need be. We know what the colors need be. Why they doing this? Why they making me act up like this? Why they making me act up like this, Valley? I need to know why they making me act up like this, Valley. We've put so many school sessions on this shit. I've had the text dialogue post. I've had video posts. I've shared other people's video posts. We've told y'all what the motherfucking colors were. Let's bring it all the way up. Let me just bring it all the way up so y'all can see. Y'all know what the colors is, and y'all still won't do right by the colors. Why won't y'all do right by the colors? Y'all know what the colors is. Why won't y'all do right by the colors? Come on now. Y'all know what the colors is, and y'all still won't do right by them. The Juneteenth flag. Y'all know what the colors is. The colors. The red, white, and blue represent the American flag. We all know that. A reminder that slaves and their descendants were and are Americans. That's why we are Americans. That's why we're American freedmen. That's why we're FBA, Foundational Black Americans. That's why you're American descendants of, because we're Americans. The arc. You see the arc? The arc, right where the red meets the blue. The curve that extends across the width of the flag represents a new horizon and the promise that lays ahead for Black Americans. See, I liked it when they said Black Americans there, but I got a little confused when he went to the next one. The star, the white star in the center represents both Texas, the Lone Star State, as well as the freedom of, and they said African Americans. I don't know why they went to African Americans with this. I've never agreed with African Americans on this, but that's okay. The burst that outlines the star is inspired by the nova, a term that astronomers use to mean a new star. This represents a new beginning for, and they used it again, I get it, African Americans. I say Black Americans, I say American freedmen. If you say FBA, that's good. As you say ADOS, that's good. But I can't say African Americans full-throated the way I used to, and y'all know why. And then, of course, the date. The most important thing here is the date. The date. The date marks the day enslaved African Americans in Galveston, Texas, learned of their freedom. When the Union troops arrived to announce the Emancipation Proclamation. 1865. 1865. It's not a difficult task here. It's not a difficult task here to know the colors, to know the meaning. It's not a difficult task. What you say, Donald? The Starbucks on Washington still has a flag up? Yeah. The Starbucks on Washington keeps their Juneteenth flag up during the Juneteenth or month of June, I believe. Yes, they do. They keep one up. They sure do. They keep one up. As they should. And that's a beautiful thing. They keep it up year round. Look at this. They keep it up year round. I used to go to that Starbucks on Washington. They was the one that was out there picketing and all kinds of stuff. I was out there supporting the picketers and things like that, you know, giving them words of encouragement when they was going through the shit, when people was coming through there talking shit, you know, to them, like during the COVID times and stuff like that. I was always trying to be a positive voice to them people because, you know, they deal with a lot of shit in there, a lot of people from the LGBTQIA community, you know. And I sat there and I heard people be verbally abused by some people before, and I literally would say shit to not only the people that was talking that shit, but I'd say shit to the people that were actually serving up that coffee because they didn't deserve that shit. Yeah, Glencoe Crossings, not Arborland, right? You talking about the one over there by Ichiban. Absolutely. Used to run through that drive-through 3-4 times a week, man. You know, my neighborhood Bucks is on Carpenter, but that's when I preferred to go to that one most of the time because when I was up and down Washington about to get on a highway, get me a fresh cup, you know, I felt like I was doing my due diligence just to make sure that, you know, I'm supporting who supports me. Met a lot of good people in there. Had a lot of meetings in there. Actually had a meeting with Sheriff Dyer when she told me she was looking to run for sheriff. That's where I met Sheriff Dyer in there. Sure did. We knew each other prior to that, you know, just from the community, whatnot. But that's where we actually sat and had a meeting, talked for a couple hours in there. But these are the colors. These are the colors. These are the colors. These ain't never been the colors. And these will never be the colors. That background I use this. I like to use this. You know, the American flag. And when you tear back the Juneteenth flag, you're going to get the American flag. The American flag was around before the Juneteenth flag was around. The foundation of the Juneteenth flag comes from the American flag. How could I turn against that? You're not going to see this Juneteenth flag and then see me put a red, black, and green flag underneath it. And I understand the red, black, and green just like everybody else understands the red, black, and green. But this ain't about the diaspora. This ain't about the diaspora. This is about Americans, freed Americans, descendants of those who were enslaved. Don't have shit to do with Pan-Africanist red, black, and green colors or the other ones that they like to throw in there. Because they like to throw the yellow in there. I mean, hell, by the time you get through with all the Juneteenth colors that they like to put in there, it looks more or less like a pride flag. And shout out to my LGBTQIAP community. Happy Pride Month to y'all. Make sure y'all listening to Black American music. It's Black American Music Month. If you gay, I don't care. Listen to Black American music this month. All right? All right? Listen to Black American music, not Afro beats, not world beats. And I know there's some great artists out there who sing music that's derived from Black American music. They're not Black American. No, we sticking with the Black Americans this month. Can we stand on that business? Can we unify that? Can we build that future together? I mean, we are what we are. until we aren't. Until we aren't. I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? And these political figures, they're just doing what they do. Don't blame them. Don't blame them. You know, I don't know why I got so many problems out of you and Apollo today. Ain't nothing wrong with Afro beats, but this is Black American Music Month. On July 1st, go back to your Afro beats. Run that Black American music for me for another 15 days. Will you, Donald? Boy, you Y1 motherfuckers, boy, you kind of hard to deal with. Actually, Apollo, he's A squared, so he's, you know, and what it is you smart niggas. See, that's the problem. You motherfuckers be smart and shit. That's why y'all be giving me a run for my money. Y'all be smart. So I give you the flex. I'll give you the flex. But yeah, these individuals here, I can't hold nothing against them. I can't hold nothing against them. They were invited to this thing. They were given the access to this thing. They were accepted into this thing. And if you weren't here at the beginning, then you won't understand what I just meant by that. But you can be accepted and then you can have access. And then you can have access and you might not be accepted. But they were accepted and they had access. So how can I be angered at them? And they were given the access by the Ann Arbor NAACP. Azure Nimble Nimbus. I love the name. Azure is, oh my God, this is an abomination. Hey, man, look, it is what it is at this point. You know, it is what it is. Till it ain't. They had one job, Azure. They had one job to do what they were supposed to do, and they didn't do their job, Azure. And when you don't do your job and you have a job to do, I'm going to call you on it.
Negroes, do your duty.
I'm absolutely going to call you on it. If I don't call you on it, then I'm not doing my job.
Negroes, do your duty.
So, as we continue to move up and down the channel here, my sound, it must be still good. Y'all ain't saying I sound like I'm on a CB radio, so I'm pretty good. But this situation here, it's tough. It's tough for me because I know that the intentions are not good from our people. I don't just blame the Ann Arbor NAACP. Hell, the national chapter of the NAACP has stepped off its game. I mean, its game for many a years. They're way off code. The NAACP national chapter has stepped off of their game, and see, that's a problem for me. When your national chapter ain't on code, how are we going to expect these smaller chapters to be on code? A chapter like Ann Arbor, how are we going to expect them to do the right thing? How are we going to expect the collective of the NAACP to do the right thing if the leader ain't doing the right thing?
Negroes, do your duty.
Because this is what happens when you deal with situations like this. You get situations like this. Melia said, how come there was no collaboration? Who's he going to collaborate with? Who's he going to collaborate? He going to collaborate with them folks that ran the downtown Ann Arbor African American Festival? A festival that has truly, over the years, gotten smaller and smaller and smaller as far as we go. Boy, when they have the Taste of Ann Arbor, or they have the Greek Festival, or they have all them other festivals in Ann Arbor, the streets be packed. The streets be packed out, and they give them a whole goddamn block. Not just the intersection that's mostly shut down on the weekend. Them businesses ain't even open on the weekends. They give them a thriving block. And them businesses on them blocks be opened up for business. Them restaurants over there be opened up for business. Will we get a couple food trucks over there at the downtown festival? Was there food trucks down at the Ann Arbor NAACP celebration? Did they bring some food trucks down there? Did they, what they have down there to eat? I'd love to know. I'd love to know. I know a chef who could have catered the NAACP Juneteenth festival with some ethnic food. Yeah, I would have made some ethnic food for you. I ain't got no problem with making no ethnic food. And what I don't know how to make, I could have farmed it out and got some ethnics to make it for you. What kind of food was down there at the NAACP Juneteenth celebration? What y'all have down there? What y'all have down there to eat, leader? You the NAACP leader. What y'all have down there to eat? What y'all feed these folks? What y'all feed these folks? What these three dudes eat down at the Juneteenth celebration at Wheeler Park last Saturday, put on by the NAACP? Did you do your duty?
Negroes, do your duty.
I don't think you did your duty. I want to know what they ate, though. For sure. I want to know what they ate. When was this, and why didn't this event get as much pressure hype as the other event? This was last Saturday. This was June 13th. This was last Saturday, 2 days ago, Hida. 2 days ago. You didn't hear about it? You didn't hear about the Unity Walk? There was a Unity Walk. They walked from, I believe it was Fuller Park, all the way over to the Wheeler Park. It was a Unity Walk. And I think that's what this is right here. This was the Unity Walk. Looks like they're walking along the sidewalk from the Fuller Park area, heading on over to Wheeler Park. I can't tell you why this didn't get as much pub as the other event, but you'd probably want to look at the leadership of the NAACP of Ann Arbor. Yeah. I would have to say, look to the leadership, look to their public relations people, and see why. Now, I do know this. I do know that the leadership of the NAACP and the leadership of the Ann Arbor Downtown African American Festival, I believe the age gap is about 20 years in leadership. NAACP being the upper. I believe it's about 20 years age gap. And with that being said, the age of the leader of the NAACP is probably somewhere in that 70 area. And let's say the age of the Downtown African American Festival is somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 years old. I would have to say both of those groups are out of touch. Both of those groups don't know shit from Shinola when it comes to this here. Okay. What they need to do is kick out all of their advisory boards and get young blood in there. New blood, young blood, vibrant blood, knowledgeable blood. Okay. I'm not saying kick them off so I can be on something, because I'm not trying to be on nobody's fucking committee. Been there, done that. Don't need to go back to that. What I'm looking at right now is the changing of the gods, not the changing of the guards. We had that long time ago. We've got the changing of the gods. And I don't blame any of these melanin deficient people in these images here. They did nothing wrong. They were only, I will stand by it. I believe they are well-intentioned folks. I believe they're well-intentioned folks. They had a job to do. They had a mission, and they set out to do it, and they got it accomplished. I have no problem with them. Who I have a problem with is the organizers of this event, and that would be the Ann Arbor NAACP. That's it. That's who I have a problem with. That's who I'm going to have a problem with. I'm going to have an issue with the individuals who do things like this. You said nope. I don't know exactly what you said nope for, but I'll ride with you on it. Jasmine Virgo, how you doing today? Long time no see. Well, it's been a long time since I've been on YouTube, and that's generally where we cross paths. Good day to you, Jasmine Virgo. So this here, it means a lot. It means a lot. But to who? I am well, Jasmine. I am well. Thanks for asking. They got their mission accomplished. As politicians, they came out to say what they needed to say. And I'm sure they moved on to the next event. I did see multiple politicians at multiple festivals on Saturday. They got around. They got around like Tupac. Oh, yeah, they got around to the sounds of the underground. When they go to these festivals, they're only there for a short time. They're not there for a good time. They're not there for a long time. They're there for a short time because they got to get to the next festival. I get that. I get all of that. And that's why I say I don't fault any of these politicians. Only thing I really fault the politicians for is they're just coming in saying the same shit they always say, not having anything new to say, and even saying the same thing that they say and then don't do shit at the end of that. If you're going to keep saying the same thing, at least do some of that shit. But they say the same thing and don't do shit, and y'all still vote for them. What the fuck? Just saying. That iced coffee is hitting. That iced coffee is hitting. So, looking at this image, this image, this image is what brought on this image. That's what it was. Anybody that's still in the dark of why this post came across your timeline, if you're in here, or for those who I'm not sure how they found my post if I'm not friends with them on Facebook, but since they did find my post, and y'all seem to find my post even though we're not friends on Facebook, I thought my posts were only public to my friends on Facebook. But anyway, somehow people are finding my posts nowadays, and I don't even know how, because my shit's supposed to be just for my friends on Facebook, public to friends on Facebook, but somehow other people find them. Maybe because I signed up for that content creation shit. I don't know. But when people come on to my post and say shit on my post, come on, man. And I'm talking about you, Mr. Lewis, even though I'm not going to bring my post back up because I don't need to bring my post back up. If y'all want to know what happened with Mr. Lewis, just go on back about an hour and you can probably figure it out. Mr. Lewis had designs on running me down on my own post. He ran me down, tried to run me down on my own post, and then couldn't spell the shit correctly. And then I had to be Shannon. Goddamn. You know, I'm really trying at this because I said I'm mature. I've matured. I have matured. I've matured a lot. You know, I just don't jump out there for you can't just jump out there for every little thing, especially in my world. You can't just jump out there for every little thing. And that was a little thing. And I'm glad I didn't see it before, because if I had seen it before, I might have jumped out there. But knowing that I was going to do this video, knowing that I was really going to speak my mind, you know, I spoke my mind. The family is well. Thank you for asking me. How's yours? You know, I spent the last few days, Jasmine. I spent the last few days out at the pool. I didn't go out yesterday. Supposed to go to my grandson's flag football game, but it got rained out. But I had spent the previous days at the pool, and I got dark quick too. I done got real dark, like real quick. This is crazy. Watch this shit. Let me see, what am I at now? Am I at this? There we go. Oh, maybe it's this. Yeah, I have gotten dark like real quick, and it's only June, and I'm probably gonna be out at the pool at least I think we got to do 50 times. I said we're gonna go to the pool 50 times over the summertime. And so we're day 3, I think. We'll be at day 4 the next time we hit the pool. We'll get there sometime this week. Hopefully a couple times. But the grandkids love the water, and therefore I love that they love the water. So as much as I can help them get to the water, I'm gonna help them get to the water. So we're gonna venture out, and we got some local pools that they like, and then we'll get to some ones out of the area. There's gonna be some splash pads. We're gonna hit some slides and all that kind of stuff. Water's water, you know what I'm saying? As long as it's clean, that I want them in it. So, but yeah, I got kind of a copper tone, Got kind of a copper tone. I even got tan lines and shit. I wore my beater like one day at the pool and shit. Now the next time I go, I got to like go straight up, just take my whole shirt off because I got tan lines. I'm like, what's wrong with my chest? And I saw my chest. I was like, I don't know if you can see it. You see that? Look at that. That's crazy. I got tan lines. Like, man, I'm too old to have tan lines. I can't have no tan lines. So it is what it is, But yeah, they love the water, so it's a beautiful thing. But this here, not acceptable. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. And there's no reason for me to really even talk about this. You already know how I feel about the colors. You already know how I feel about the colors. Shout out to Trish for getting the colors right on the Juneteenth flyer this year. We made kind of a joke about that last night. She got on, and so it was all in good fun, good nature. I just want everybody to be correct. I know everybody has different beliefs. I get that. We're not a monolith. We are not a monolith, Shannon. We are not a monolith. I know it's why we're kind of fucked up out here, but that's okay. We're not here to talk about that. But when we have situations like this, when we know the right thing to do, we absolutely know the right thing to do, and we don't do it. We know what the meanings of the things are, and we don't adhere to it. I mean, come on. Why are we here? Why are we here? Why are we here? Because this is not why we're here. This is not why we're here. I have a problem with this, but I don't have a problem with these individuals because these individuals were accepted and they had access to this event. Don't even care what they said. I think Mila said earlier, what was their contribution? I don't know. Maybe they help with some of the funding that the NAACP gets, Maybe that's what their contribution was. They help with some of the funding because I know the NAACP is funded by many, many different agencies out here. Different entities. I get it. And maybe they feel like, we've got to kind of play ball with some of these situations. Well, if we're going to play ball, can we at least play in the Negro leagues? I mean, because you're not really playing in the major leagues, NAACP. Let's please play in the Negro leagues. Come on now. Come on now. This here is a setback. It's a setback. But I mean, I don't know. Will people view it as a setback? Probably not. I know some people are going to understand it. A few people will understand it. I get it. And the people who actually try to understand what I'm saying, get it. If you don't want to try to understand what I'm saying, I get that too, man. If you just purposely want to miss the point, even though you know what I'm saying is correct, I get that too. I already told you, I've missed the point on shit purposely many a times. Okay? I can miss the point on shit purposely all day. Still know exactly what you mean, but I can miss the point just to be contrary. And I am a contrarian, naturally. This is crazy here. This is crazy. But it's what you get when you thrive for everybody to be everything to one another. I don't need to speak where I am mentally. For those who know me, they know. Anybody that doesn't know me, I have no problem with expressing my views, why I feel the way I feel, how I move the way I move. I don't fight over who I lay with. Just like I don't fight over who I stand for. So if I stand with you, I stand with you. Don't worry about who the fuck I lay with. Because see, the problem is with that, people only want to take an interest into who you lay with when you lay with something that doesn't look like you. You motherfuckers didn't take an interest when I laid with women that looked just like me, that fucking killed my life, killed my family. You never said anything. You never said a word. But if you see someone that doesn't look like me, oh man, I don't even, come on. Those are easy ones. Those are easy ones. Trust me, if my beliefs were solely based on who I laid with, you motherfuckers would see, you wouldn't see shit like this around me. You wouldn't see me talk this way. I'd be jumping on everybody's motherfucking bandwagon all over because I've had them. From Tennessee to Timbuktu, doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. I love women. Yes, I do. I love women. I love organic vaginas. I do. I always have, always will. That'll never change. I don't like GMO vaginas. What kind of woman I like? I like organic vagina. People have always asked me, do you have a type? Nope. Yeah, I have a type. I like vaginas. That's it. That's the kind of type. That's a type I have. Now there's some other things that are going to come with that. I'm just not running up on just any old kind of vagina. Come on now. But I needed it to be a vagina from the start and to the finish. You know, if I've got some demands, that's my demands. The rest of the shit I can figure all out. Trust me. Always been that way. Always will be that way. And I don't argue with where I am with that. Just like I don't put anybody to task about where they are with theirs. Only people I ever talk about as far as that goes are people that change once they get with someone that doesn't look like them. Yeah, I'll run them all the way down. Absolutely. Don't act like you brand new because you got you something brand new. Trust me, you are no different. You are no different. You might think you're different. You might think you feel different. But you are no different than what you were. But when you think you that way, then, you know, shit happens, man. Shit happens. But as I approach 2 hours here, you said, ooh. I don't know what I said. I had to get the fan. Sorry, Jasmine. Sorry. But I'm approaching 2 hours here, and I'm thinking about going a different direction now because I've gotten out what I really need to get out about the NAACP. I spent about an hour on the monologue, just talking about things leading up to now. I'm sorry, Jasmine. I'm sorry. What state you in, Jasmine? Because it's cold, Michigan. You ain't in Michigan. What state you in? I'm looking at some of the things that have been going on, dealing. Oh, you in the NYC? Okay. Okay. Shout out to New York City. Shout out to the New York Knicks. Congratulations on winning the title. Only thing I haven't liked about that is all the violence. I mean, what's what with all the violence? And there's always, shenanigans after a world championship in a major city. There's always shenanigans. But I don't get all the violence. I mean, everybody's supposed to be happy and shit. But, people always tear shit up, this, that, and the other, but it's gotten crazy in New York. So hopefully everybody's safe now. It's chilled out. They're going to have a parade, I would think. The parade's probably going to be funky. The parade's going to be, are they going to do the parade this week, like before Juneteenth? The parade's probably going to be funky. Hopefully they don't do the parade on Juneteenth. Don't take away from anybody having Juneteenth celebrations, because I really actually wanted to go to New York. Just not going to be able to do it because I've got some things coming up. Going to be working, with some kids through the summer, and all of our, orientations and things like that happen through the week, through the weekend, as we start next week. I like to do a little volunteer work when I can. I'm going to be doing some stuff working with kids. You dump the Knicks. Why would you do that? That's your team. That's your team. You can't leave your team behind. I mean, I know you can go root for somebody here or there, but that's like me saying I dumped the Pistons. You got to understand, I have lived through the Pistons, the Detroit Pistons. I have lived through their worst seasons ever. I was a kid when they were 16 and 66. And then they were most recently, I think, was 14 and 68. I've lived through both of those situations, but we've bounced back. We've won championships during my lifetime. And hey, he said because they kept losing. But you got to stick in it, Jazz. You got to stick in it. Everybody has a different way about it. I get it. But yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, that's what makes most people stop liking their home team, and then they start. But it's hard for me to root for another team. I like other teams, and I'll root for other teams when I'm watching sports. But no team is ever going to be my team above the Detroit Pistons, the Detroit Lions, the Detroit Tigers, the Detroit Red Wings. I like my in-state sports teams. I'm a University of Michigan fan. I'll root for Michigan State, just not when they play Michigan. That's all. But, I get it. I've seen people leave the Knicks, seen people get frustrated. And the Knicks had a hard way over these last many, many years. They came up against a lot of juggernauts, and, they had great teams. They just couldn't get over that hump. I really wish Patrick Ewing would have won a championship. He deserved to win a championship. And there's a few other players who played, longtime Knicks players. I wish they would have won championships, but unfortunately, they weren't. But hey, many of them are around to celebrate now, so it feels like it's theirs too. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But yeah, moving on, as we've gotten over the Juneteenth thing. I guess I can come on up here. Would that be me? Yeah, it's me. I'm gonna have to take a couple things down because I'm probably not going to play them anymore. What am I going to take down? Let's put that there. Let's put this here. Image. Okay. Now, there's a situation that has happened, and I want to talk about both things. I've been here a couple hours, and I might as well just stay here for maybe another 30, 40 minutes if I can. But I want to play something. Let me get it to situation here. Give me 1 second. I want to play something. Mm-mm-mm. Give me 1 second. Do. 1 second. Wow. Okay, so hopefully my screens can get back right again. Do. If my sound is good, because I have to back out. I had to learn these things before that I wasn't able to upload things without I could actually kill my stream if I didn't do it the right way. So get my camera back in there. My sound is good. Let's see if my camera can get good. All right. I think I have everything up. All right. Let's see. Let's see if we can add. This is stage. Okay. There we go. Well, this has been obviously in the headlines most recently. The Carmelo Anthony situation. I've not said a lot about this, really since it first happened, because as much as I didn't want to believe that it was going to play out like this, I kind of knew it was. And I didn't want to be an antagonist, but I knew what was going to happen. I saw this post. This has been up and around on social media. And these individuals, we can see the images of Reverend Al, Barack Hussein. I would believe that that's Mallory. I mean, it obviously could be any of the BLM, but I believe it's Tamika Mallory. The Negro in the back, I don't know who that is. Is that supposed to be Eric Holder? And obviously we know who the far right is. former Madam Vice President Kamala Harris Imhoff. These individuals I have not heard speak, and maybe they have. I'm not saying that I hear everything, because I don't. I don't hear everything. But I have not heard them speak on Carmelo Anthony's case. Very sad situation. I do not wish that boy Austin Metcalf, I do not wish that he was dead. And I know I've heard people say, some bad things. I'll say that. That's not, I'm too invested with kids to wish any child death or harm. And although I believe there was a situation that he instigated, I absolutely believe there was a situation that he instigated, I still don't believe he deserved to die. It's an unfortunate situation. And Carmelo Anthony's case was just a tragedy. And after listening to his parents from the outset of the incident last year, all the way to most recently when they've been interviewed, I absolutely did not condone Carmelo Anthony using a knife to defend himself, although I don't know what that young man's mental capacity was in feeling threatened and feeling like he had to use that knife. That's why I never spoke on that part of it. I mean, if it's hand-to-hand combat, that's one thing. If it's knife-to-knife combat, that's one thing. If it's gun-to-gun combat, that's another thing. But we know what it is or what it was, so that's where I never condone that. But without ever understanding and really hearing where Carmelo Anthony's mind was, because he was not allowed to speak for himself in a self-defense case. It's a very odd situation to me. They rode the self-defense case situation all the way through, but he was not allowed to speak of why he felt he was defending himself, or he felt the need to defend himself in the matter that he did. That's crazy to me. If I'm going to say I had to do something based on self-defense, I'm also going to want to tell my story. And Carmelo Anthony was never given the opportunity to tell his story. That's a problem. And I don't know why that wasn't brought out more. Nobody's talking about that. Why wasn't Carmelo allowed to speak? When they knew some of the things that were being spoken by some of the witnesses that had been called, why were they not challenged more? And I guess there were so many stories from the beginning until the trial that it changed over, flipped over. And the people that they spoke with, they literally said one thing in 25. They said one thing during the trial. And they knew that. Why was that not challenged by the defense? Where were the videos that were known to be recorded from last year? There was an actual eyewitness video that was said to have been recorded last year, which I knew we were never going to see because it was going to go to trial. But I figured that video would probably at least surface during the trial. Now that video is non-existent. That individual that said he was recording said he only put his phone up to make it look like he was recording it. What kid does that? What teenager puts his phone up to make it look like he's recording something but doesn't really record it? No teenager. That's an easy answer. That's an easy rhetorical answer. A rhetorical question, I'm sorry. No teen picks up their phone and holds it up. They pick up their phone and they just hold it up. And then, they're like, yeah. And they're not recording anything. Get the fuck out of here, man. Sorry. I've had several texts. I had no idea that things were coming in. So just checking my game. Carmelo Anthony was not given proper defense. I don't think the people who handled his case, from attorneys and advisors all the way to his parents, did him any justice. I started to see different things put up regarding this situation. It's just, to me, when I saw this, I was kind of blown away. I mean, you can't have any more similarities, any more commonalities than this. Same state, similar cases, very different sentences. Texas teen stabbing cases with similar facts and defendants or similar ages. Starting in 2020, 17-year-old had an argument, escalated to a 16-year-old being stabbed in the chest, convicted of manslaughter. In 2021, a 17-year-old had an argument at a party, stabbed an 18-year-old during a fight, claimed he was scared. The first individual said it was self-defense. This one claimed he was scared. He was 17. He was fighting someone who was 18. If he was scared, why didn't he run home? Why'd he stay there in a fight and eventually stab someone? But he was still convicted of manslaughter, not murder. In 2022, there was a fight outside of a restaurant where an 18-year-old was stabbed by another 18-year-old, once claimed self-defense, convicted of criminal negligent homicide. In 2024, an 18-year-old had an argument in a school bathroom and stabbed an 18-year-old, claimed self-defense. Convicted of criminal negligent homicide. Excuse me, I got something in my throat. Gotta get this tickle out. All right. In 2025, a 17-year-old had an argument at a track meet, stabbed a 17-year-old once in the chest. His claim, self-defense. His conviction, murder. If you take the 4 previous cases and you add up their sentences, They add up to 37 years. The 4 previous cases. Excuse me. They add up to 37 years. You have 12 plus 15 plus 30 days plus 10 years. 37 years for 4 previous defendants, whereas Carmelo Anthony received 35 years for his conviction alone. And I don't know who that boy is because that's not Carmelo Anthony. I have no idea about these other boys, Case and Allison, Jesus San Miguel, Richard Cedillo, and Gabriel Ruiz. I don't know who those boys are, don't know what they look like. But I definitely know that this is not Carmelo Anthony. I've seen Carmelo Anthony's picture enough times to know that that is absolutely not Carmelo Anthony. I absolutely know that. That's not Carmelo Anthony. And I hope that, they can get that right because that's not Carmelo Anthony. Pretty much everything else is right, though. He got 35 years. Those 4 other boys got 37 combined. How did they find Carmelo Anthony guilty of murder, but were able to find those other 4 boys convicted of manslaughter and criminal negligent homicide? What was the difference between those 5 cases? Those 5 cases. What was the difference between those 5 cases? And like I said, I blame everybody on Carmelo Anthony's side, from his attorneys all the way back to his parents. There's something that I want to play because, like I said, I didn't say much during the whole ongoings. It wasn't like I was under a gag order. I absolutely believe it was the jury. The jury plays a part in many of our cases. But our representation is involved in picking the jury in these cases. And Carmelo's representation, I believe, didn't do him any justice because it's not just about him not having a black juror. Would have been nice, but a black juror doesn't. Actually, it was. It was a very diverse jury. Just didn't have any black people on it. There were some other ethnicities on the jury, Chaz. Absolutely. There just weren't any black people on it. And I can look that up too. Give me 1 second. I remember hearing about it, but I just don't know. What was the ethnic background of the Carmelo Anthony juries? The jury panel was predominantly white, but included an Asian, an Hispanic, and other racial minority members. Yeah. So there were absolutely people on the jury that were not just white. It was not 12 white people. They need to stop throwing that narrative out there because it wasn't just white people. It wasn't 12 white people. There were Asians, there were Hispanics or Latinos, as you call them, on the jury. See, I pride myself on these things. This is why I speak when I speak. I know a lot of people just like to talk. I get it, and I do too. But I like to be truthful. I like to be, factual. And I knew that they had more than just white people. There wasn't just 12 white faces on the jury. Now, it might be 12 people who identify as white, because we know Asians will identify as white, and Latinos will identify as white, and Middle Eastern people will identify as white until it's time to get them resources and shit. Then they identify, well, what the fuck they are, and then they go get that bag. I have no problem with stating that. Yeah. See, I'm going to state that part, but I'm also going to state the other part too. Asians will be Asians all day long to get that bag. But when it's time to break them down from Chinese, Japanese, Taiwanese, I mean, they break that shit down. Koreans. Koreans are different. And I may venture into the Rick Chow thing, maybe, just maybe, if I'm going to stay here long enough. Koreans are a little different. They are. Koreans hold a lot of market share in black neighborhoods around the country, as do other ethnicities. And Koreans have been detrimental in a lot of black neighborhoods around the country, as have other ethnicities. Shit. But keeping the main thing, we're talking about Carmelo, and Carmelo was, I felt, misrepresented. I don't believe his defense gave 100% of his efforts, his intelligence, his intel, his resources. I don't think he put it out there. The fact that Carmelo did not testify on his own behalf of why he felt the need to use that knife lets me know they really weren't seeking out a self-defense claim. They couldn't have been. And I know a lot of people want to put this in the same frame as OJ. It ain't that. It ain't even close to that. For one, OJ never claimed self-defense. Therefore, OJ didn't need to take the stand. He absolutely did not need to take the stand. Well, scam likely calls coming through now. Just getting a text. My granddaughter told me off. She didn't text me. Her mama text me, but I'm sure I'm going to get told off the next time I see her. Such is life. I want to play something. There's no reason to belabor this. Most of y'all have heard this already, but I want to play this because to me, one second. Let's see where I can get this. Can I get this up here? Pause. Oh, okay. So I've got to take something down, remove that. How's that? All right. So this was something that I saw, and I'm using this with fair use, claiming fair use. Disclaimer 107. I can't understand how his family got to this thinking. I don't know these people. I would have to ask them specifically because I can't ask them the same way that the questions were being asked to them. But in listening to their statements here, to be as misguided as they were, it only led Carmelo down the path that he went. And I'm not talking pre-stabbing, I'm talking post. Because I think Carmelo Anthony was on his way to being an upstanding individual in society. He just didn't make it out. He didn't make it out. And it wasn't like he didn't make it out of poverty because he wasn't living in poverty. But you don't have to be living in poverty to not be able to make it out. And Carmelo didn't make it out. I don't think his parents put that type of vibe in him. But in today's world, these kids, what they see, you know, this is the Grand Theft Auto generation. And Grand Theft Auto's been around for a long time, but the Grand Theft Auto, you know, where they think they can do things and then just press reset. And you can't press reset. You can't just start the game all over again. And that's the generation that we're in now, where these kids think that they can start and stop. Oh, I fucked up. I'm going to start again. No, there's none of that. But I want to play this, and hopefully the audio is up enough and you can see it. But this is his parents being interviewed, and I believe this is the girl from lady from Breakfast Club. But I didn't get it off of the Breakfast Club site, so don't be striking my shit, Breakfast Club. But check out his parents in what they say, and then we'll go from there. I think I'm going to let it play all the way through just so you can hear everything. And yeah.
And received a fair trial?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And we're going to keep fighting.
Mm-hmm.
We will not stop fighting for justice for my son.
Mm-hmm. And as parents, have you all struggled with guilt, you know, asking yourselves, is there anything differently? I know, Kayla, you said you wish you had gone to that track meet. Is there anything that you both wish you could have done differently?
I wish I would have just been rebellious. I was told, don't talk to this person. Don't talk to this person. I feel like it was just a setup. Now, so they told us, go get white attorneys. Every black person I went to a white attorney. No white attorney, they set them up, pushed them. Hey, here you go. I mean,
You know, I thought I could, but I can't. Who told these people to get white attorneys? Not that white attorneys couldn't be helpful, but who told them to only get white attorneys, to not get black attorneys? Who was advising these people of this? I mean, I've seen some brilliant white attorneys in my lifetime. Hadn't had to be represented by them, thankfully. But I've seen some in my lifetime. I've seen some brilliant attorneys that were white. Now, there's also been some brilliant Black American attorneys. American freedmen, FBA, ADOS, Black American, Negroes. There's absolutely been some Negroes that did their duty as attorneys. I don't know who would have told these people not to get a black attorney or to only get white attorneys. I mean, the miseducation of the Anthony family. This is ridiculous here.
objections. It was things smooth stuff because as a father of me being who I am, I got to make sure she's straight. This mama bear, I got to make sure she's straight mentally because if she's not straight, my house ain't straight. I'm not straight. Then so because I got the kids to worry about.
I understand where this brother's coming from, and in many ways, in many situations, I've felt the same way. But then again, if he's not straight, how can he make sure his wife is straight? And if he's not straight, how can he make sure his kids are straight? See, there's a two-sided situation here. I get him saying that I've got to make sure she's straight so I can be straight. But if you're not straight, you can't make sure she's straight. It's a flaw in a statement, and I know what he meant by it, but then I also know what I heard. And I know the belief structure is happy wife, happy life. Okay. I understand people say that and they believe that. Happy wife, happy life. Nobody ever came up with a rhyme for happy husband? Happy husband. Bueller.
Got to make sure his mental health. I can't go back and forth with him right in there because his mental can handle it. The misunderstanding of what dad is trying to say. This ain't a daddy moment.
So do you believe your son received a fair trial?
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And we're going to keep fighting.
Mm-hmm.
We will not stop
Mm-hmm.
fighting for justice for my son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard for us right now, and I've had my moments. Yeah, what's going on with the process? Because there's a lot of times when I hope this don't be controversial, but that's the first thing they do is they try to say we're emotional.
Mm-hmm.
We don't follow instructions, right? So we did everything that we was advised and told to do, and look what happened.
So who?
Everybody kept saying, "Hey, to beat this." I even went to some black attorneys. They're like, "Oh, you need a white attorney to go out there to fight out there." Remember they were telling us that? They kept telling us that. So everybody.
Who is they? I want to know who they are at this point that told them to go get a white attorney. I don't understand who they is. But whoever advised them to only talk to white lawyers, that is crazy. It's asinine. I wouldn't even begin to say, oh, I'm only going to talk to white attorneys about this case. And truthfully, it didn't have anything to do with the fact that he stabbed a white kid. The fact that he stabbed anyone, he's going to most likely have a white prosecutor. He's going to most likely have a white judge. He's going to most likely have a predominantly white jury. So you only speak to someone who can only speak from the white side? Because like I said, I know plenty of brilliant white attorneys. But who would advise them not to get or be at least affiliated with a black attorney who might say, you know what, this is the best guy to go through this. This is the best guy to go through that part. But then when you get to talking about this and this, this, and this, you're going to need a black attorney. Because nobody's going to be able to come from that side of the street if they're not black. And I don't care if they grew up the way Carmelo grew up, the way the parents grew up. There's two different sides of the street here. So if we're in a situation that what we're talking about is we're only going to get white attorneys based on what someone told us to do, only talk to white attorneys, they were misguided. They were miseducated. They were lost.
Like, why y'all didn't? Everybody was telling us, okay, so then we get it. They basically tossed them over.
Was there at any point that you felt the outcome was heading in this direction?
No. Everybody lied. Even when the one kid who was the corporate of all this, meaning the kid who invited him to the tent, he lied on the stand and said he didn't even know him.
And that was so telling. And that's exactly why Carmelo should have actually testified on his own behalf. The fact that Eduardo Parra, his name is Eduardo. You got to know his name is Eduardo. I want to have somebody prove to me that his name is not Eduardo. But they keep calling him Eddie. They calling him Eddie, but I bet you $1 to a dozen of donuts. That's a good deal. That his name is Eduardo. The boy that was his friend, the boy that was in numerous pictures and was at numerous events with Carmelo, who got on the stand and said he didn't know who Carmelo was. The boy who invited Carmelo to sit underneath the tent while it was raining. Eduardo had melanin in his skin, has melanin in his skin, probably appropriates blackness, would not doubt it. I looked at some pictures of Eduardo, and Eduardo looks like he's just a bright little black boy. Eddie Parra is what his name is, but I bet you his name is Eduardo. And he turned on Carmelo on the stand, and it was obviously a blatant lie. Now, this is the same kid that they actually said that he videoed what had happened and then turned around and said, oh, I was just playing. I wasn't really filming it at the time. I wasn't really filming. I just held my phone up to make it look like I was filming. They let this shit fly. When I say they, I'm talking about Carmelo's defense attorneys or defense attorney. I don't know exactly how many he really had, but I do know that they were white. They were the advised to get white attorneys. And the things that I've heard come from him since the trial, it got worse. When they say he had like 2 objections the whole time all those witnesses spoke, 2. How does that happen? If you don't do nothing but object just to break up the rhythm of the testimonies, just object. I object, Your Honor. Da-da-dee-da-da-da. Sustained, overruled, whatever. He did it twice during the whole trial. I mean, you're talking about a murder case that was done in a week. That's jury selection, that's opening arguments, that's cross-examination by the prosecution, cross-examination by the defense, conviction, and sentencing all in a week. I don't know how long these other trials took. I don't. But they couldn't have taken a week. I'd like to go back and do some research on them, to be honest with you. And I'd also want to know, did those individuals testify on their behalf? I think I'm going to do some digging into that part. Since they're all very similar cases, I want to go see if these 4 individuals testified on their behalf, if any of them testified on their behalf, because they all got way less time than Carmelo. 37 combined years to his 35. One kid got 30 days in jail and 10 years probation. How the fuck did he do that? What kind of lawyer did he have? Why didn't Carmelo Anthony's people go find one of their attorneys? If you're going to listen to anybody, listen to one of their attorneys. How did you do it? Was Carmelo's attorney any one of their attorneys? I'd have a hard time believing he was. I'd be really surprised if he was. 4 cases, 37 years. 1 case, 35 years. Probably not the same attorney. But what we have are two people, and I look at, they sat there and they knew the kid lied, that he didn't know Carmelo. They knew they had seen the kid before. Kid might have even come over to their home. Or they had seen Carmelo in pictures with the kid. For him to sit up there and say he didn't know Carmelo, even though he invited Carmelo into the tent, even though there was multiple pictures. I mean, the defense should have destroyed him as a witness. They could have totally discredited Eduardo Para, if they would have just taken the initiative. You already know he's lying. Keep running his story. Pretty soon, he might pull out his phone and be like, I got the video right here.
And they had pictures with his grandmother. With his grandmother. Like, here's your grandmother, my son, your grandmother. Their whole family got multiple times, played basketball together, all kind of different things. And
Yeah.
I mean, all of the witnesses' statements and stories were inconsistent. So we thinking that the jury is going to notice that. But they already had their mind made up when they sat in that courtroom. Their mind was made up already.
So I can't truly say that. I can't say that those jurors sat down and were going to convict him of murder no matter what. There would have had to have been compelling evidence to say that he didn't go there that day to stab Austin Metcalf. And it shouldn't have been that difficult to prove. The fact that they did have enough witnesses who said Austin Metcalf started the engagement, Austin Metcalf put his hands on Carmelo first, Austin Metcalf confronted Carmelo first. Carmelo did not confront him, standing over him. Carmelo was seated the whole time, never got up the whole time. There were so many different things that the defense could have used, and I don't know why they didn't use. I don't believe in speculating on shit like that. I can think about what I think about. It is what it is. I can think the way I think, but I don't know why he didn't use the tools at his disposal. But seeing that he didn't use the tools at his disposal, that right there lets me know his intentions were to never give Carmelo Anthony and Carmelo Anthony's family 100% of his capabilities. To be a defense attorney in that space, and where were his people? I mean, when you have a case like that, I don't know if it's considered capital murder or not, but when you have a case, it's a huge murder case. When you have a case like that, you walking around by yourself, dog? I mean, he should have had 3-4 people with him just to make it look good, like I got a team of shit. You know, I mean, he was walking in there by himself. I never saw him walking around with anybody else. And he gave him such a milquetoast effort, there was absolutely no way that they were going to find him not only innocent, but you weren't going to knock him off the murder block because you didn't do anything compelling enough to knock them off the murder block. Yeah, the judge gave the jury the option to go for manslaughter, but what was presented in that case by the defense to have it be manslaughter? He presented nothing. He didn't present Carmelo. He didn't try to destroy any of those lying ass witnesses that were up there. And there were obvious lies because their stories were different from last year to this year. So they're lies. You couldn't tell the same story twice because it's a lie. You can't tell a lie the same way twice. There's going to be some variances in it. That's why you just tell the truth. You tell the truth, you ain't ever got stray from the story. But when they had inconsistencies in their story, that means because they told one story last year, they told another story this year. It is what it is. I don't want to get into all that GoFundMe shit, how much money they did that, how much that guy got paid. I don't care. They were misguided. They were misled. They were miseducated. Therefore, Carmelo was missentenced. He absolutely stabbed the boy. But we don't even know if it was self-defense or not because none of that really played out. What we do know is that he was accosted by Austin Metcalf, all the other things. Who knows? But I could see Austin Metcalf and see his brother standing up over Carmelo. And who sent Austin Metcalf to remove Carmelo from the tent? What was Austin Metcalf even doing? He wasn't on the track team. He wasn't the team manager. He wasn't a coach, of course. He was a student, just like Carmelo. Carmelo was at that track meet that day as an alternate, as a matter of fact. Wasn't even scheduled to run. In case somebody else fell out, that's the only way he was going to run. That's probably why his parents weren't at the track meet, because he wasn't slated to run. He was an alternate that day. Now, his mother saying, she wishes she was at that track meet. You didn't even think he was going to run. So wishing you were at the track meet, were you going to wish he was because he was sitting there? You didn't come for various reasons. 1, he wasn't scheduled to run. 2, it was bad weather. 3, you had some other shit to do. But now they're blaming themselves because they didn't show up. I've been in situations like that where I was going to go watch people play and they said, I probably won't play this weekend, or I probably won't play this game. Probably won't. Okay, there ain't no point in me watching you. I don't want to come sit there and watch you sit on the bench. Of course, I want to see your team win, but I want to see your team win with you helping them win. And I've turned down invitations to go to games and shit. Please and thank you for telling me that you're not going to play. Don't make me come out to a motherfucking game where you're not going to get on the field. I am no longer a fan. I am a fanatic. Shit. Drive any kind of way. I don't give a fuck if it's 3 miles. If I got to drive 3 miles and all I'm going to do is sit and watch the back of your jersey, stand on the sidelines, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'd rather not do that. This was a bad scenario here. And this here is just, to me, eye-opening. I mean, it is absolutely eye-opening. I don't know the specifics of all of these cases, but because they said that they were very similar, I have to believe they all kind of went down the same road to justice. I have to believe that. Still want to know how that boy got 30 days in jail and 10 years probation. What kind of sentence is that? It seems like he did everything that these other boys did, got convicted of what that boy got convicted of. That boy got 10 years. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So, as I approach 3 hours here, 3 hours. I've been here 3 hours. I came to do one thing, and that was to talk about the Ann Arbor NAACP Juneteenth shindig. Shenanigans is really what it was. But I didn't come here to place blame on these individuals. I didn't. These individuals did exactly what they were supposed to do. They came to do one thing, and that was to be seen. These are the politicians. These individuals here, I said from the outset, I believe that these are well-intentioned individuals, and they are playing the part that they have been given to play. I don't believe there's any mocking. I don't believe there's any type of, nefarious behavior at all. I believe these are some well-intentioned individuals. I absolutely do. I truly do. But well-intentioned and all, The fuck is the Ann Arbor NAACP thinking here? I mean, what are we seriously thinking here? You had one job, and I mean one job, and you couldn't get that done.
Negroes, do your duty.
Why?
Negroes, do your duty.
If anybody can give me valid reasons as to why this was not done properly, and I have to say properly. I mean, the fact that they're not using the colors, it actually becomes a small thing, but then it's really the big thing. Because if you don't understand this and you don't understand this, you really won't understand this. And then we'll just get to this. And this, because of this. You had one job and you chose to go the other way. And you go the other way, it's for one reason.
Buttermilk biscuits, I enjoy it.
Yeah. The hunger for the biscuits. It's there. The desire for the biscuits. It's there. The need for the biscuits. It's there. And when you have all three of those things,
buttermilk biscuits, I enjoy it.
I don't blame these individuals. Politicals are what politicals are. And I don't blame these people because these people are, I would say, at least advocates. They're at least advocates. They may be activists. I don't know them personally, don't know exactly from whence they came. But I would have to say that they're advocates. I don't know if they're activists, and I really can't speak on whether they're allies or not. But I don't even care. This ain't got shit to do with what they are. It's got to do with what we are. Damn, Ann Arbor. I mean, come on now. We couldn't do better than this. We couldn't bring ourselves to the point where we could hold a Juneteenth festival on our own. And I'm not saying that white people can't be at the Juneteenth festival. I'm not here, saying we need to be all segregated. I'm not saying that. But goddamn, we didn't even carry our own signs on our unity walk. Did we even have any of us on the unity walk? Where the black folks at? Where the black folks at? Where are the black women at? Or do y'all want me to say this?
And where are the white women at?
Because we can do it that way too. I can tell you where the white women is.
And where are the white women at?
This was not a successful situation by any stretch for me. Now, I know that the Ann Arbor NAACP thinks they did their thing. I know they do. I get it. They think they did their thing. And they're going to think that. So when we don't do what we're supposed to do, we get this. We get this. And when we get this,
a few moments later,
we get this.
a few moments later,
We get this. And when y'all do all of that,
a few moments later,
we're going to get this. It's personal to me because I think of all the people that came before me, made a path for me, gave me an opportunity to do some things. And what they stood on and stood for. This here wasn't it. This wasn't even close to being it. I need understanding. And my thing that I need really to understand right now is why. Why? Why? How did we fall so far off the goal? It always starts with leadership. It always starts with leadership. And I was sent, I got stuff, the mayor of Ann Arbor, prosecuting attorney, sent a link, I think Debbie Dingle is speaking. I mean, come on, man. You didn't even need it to be the Juneteenth festival because they all do the same things at all the festivals, sometimes in the same order. But this wasn't supposed to be the same thing as all those other events and festivals. This was for the emancipation of enslaved people. American freedmen. American descendants of slaves or slavery, whichever way you want to say it, or enslaved. However, you really can't get the S when you say it with E, so it has to be S. Foundational Black Americans. Shout out to Dr. Claude. Native Black Americans. If we don't do our duty, we only have us to blame.
Negroes, do your duty.
It's on us. The onus is on us. If you don't believe that, that's why you're you, and that's why I'm me. Once we figure out what we're doing, and I will say it, as a monolith, we might be a little better off. But if we want to continue to function as if we're not a monolith, okay. Because guess what? Those other groups, they absolutely function as monolith. And that's why they get what they get. Every day, all day, from these same individuals that y'all vote for. these individuals here who were, I believe, well-intentioned souls, have nothing negative to say about them, won't say shit. You won't hear me utter a negative word about anybody on that unity walk because there was a reason they were there, and I get that. But this here, if you start out wrong, you're going to end up wrong. Now, this ain't, you can't change things around. No, it ain't that. This is motives, moves, math. I heard that before. Motives, moves, math. As we venture towards this weekend, Juneteenth weekend, Friday is actually Juneteenth. Short work week for a lot of y'all. For the ones who it's supposed to be for, I get it. But for the ones who getting it because you work government jobs or the businesses you work are going to be closing on Juneteenth, you're welcome. You're welcome. I know a lot of people who don't commemorate Dr. King's birthday, other than the fact they take that free day, that paid holiday. Many of y'all won't even be able to celebrate Juneteenth as an off day. But don't worry. Some of these folks will. Some of these individuals will. Your ancestors fought for it. And other people reap from it. Some rightfully, some righteously. I can't blame anybody for getting an off day. But I can blame somebody for having an off day. And actually, I don't even think this picture is from Saturday. I think this picture is from a couple years ago because I've seen this picture before. I saw this picture before I was actually sent this picture. I saw this picture before. Just to make clarification, I don't believe this was this past weekend. I believe this picture is from previous years. But it is what it is. 3 hours and 7 minutes. 187 minutes, 188 almost. Just because it felt like talking today. Hopefully it was understood by most. I know it will be understood by many. Some of y'all just ain't gonna understand because that's what y'all do. Hopefully Mr. Lewis understands, and hopefully he has now been notified about his mishap on my post and has corrected it. Get your bad spelling off my post, dog. Don't bring that shit here. Okay? Mr. Lewis, don't bring your bad spelling to my post anymore. We keep it 100 over here. Or at least like 93. You was at 50. You said clickbait and you only got half of it right, 50%. 50% is a failure, but you're right where the national average is. Who can't read proficiently above a 6th grade level. And the word bait is absolutely a word that a 6th grader should be able to spell. Why couldn't you spell that word, Mr. Lewis? If you know any children, even your own, they need help with reading, hit me up. I'm on Facebook. You can find me. I ain't hard to find at all. Y'all be good. I'm going to be better. No more loves. No more one love. I'm just done. Since it is Black Music Month, we're going to go out with DJ Stussy. And I know they're going to give me a infringement strike, even though they shouldn't, because it's fair use. I've said it's fair use. I do not own the rights to this music. Everybody knows I don't own the rights to the music, but that's okay. I just like this hit. And it is a hit to me because he covers all bases of American freedman life. You know, he really does. So as I jump down here, I got to go find to see where that video landed on Kick. I'm interested to see where if the video actually went up on Kick, because I've never done a video on Kick and it says I'm broadcasted on Kick. But y'all be good. And I just need y'all to.
Negroes, do your duty.
At all cost. And please don't tell me you can't do your duty, because then I'm coming this way.
What did you say, nigga?
Absolutely. And for all you that's going to side with somebody, and this ain't about taking sides, because I don't even need you to take my side. My lips so chapped. I don't need you to take my side. Y'all just keep eating.
Buttermilk biscuits, I enjoy it.
I'm done.
I'm blacker than BET, I'm blacker than EBT, I'm blacker than Eazy-E, I'm blacker than TLC, blacker than Escape and SWV, I'm blacker than 8 tracks and stacks of DVDs. We go back like flat tires, I'm blacker than Sapphire, blacker than Baptist churches down south with a black choir, blacker than smoke detectors that's beeping all through the year, blacker than sneaking snacks in the back of the movie theater. I'm blacker than Coltrane, blacker than Soul Train, blacker than gold teeth, earrings and gold chains, blacker than baby kids and even Sinead crib, blacker than everybody that used to be hating Chris. I'm blacker than black mamas that's cooking with Crisco, blacker than every thong affected by Cisco, blacker than roller skating and dancing a disco. I'm blacker than Martin and Bruh Man from the 5th floor, blacker than living single and even Keenan and Kel. I'm blacker than Love Island and baddies and BBLs. I'm blacker than nappy hair and hitting niggas with chairs, blacker than Don Julio with my vision impaired, blacker than home phones and asses that's homegrown, blacker than being back before the street lights come on. I'm blacker than Ho Hiding, I'm blacker than Flow Rider, I'm blacker than gang banging and slanging and low riders. I'm blacker than majorettes, blacker than black schools, blacker than reparations and 40 acres and mules. I'm blacker than Shaka Zulu and burning sages and hoodoo. I'm blacker than grandmamas that's cleaning houses and moo-moos. I'm blacker than Tracy Morgan, I'm blacker than Gracie's Corner, I'm blacker than Ali while knocking out George Foreman. I'm blacker than Motown, blacker than Roll Bounce, I'm blacker than brown bags that cover the 40 ounce, blacker than home remedies, lemon and tea bags, blacker than fried chicken and greens at a repast, blacker than don't you dribble that ball in my damn house, blacker than if I brought you in this world I could take you out, blacker than throwing fades, I'm blacker than playing spades, I'm blacker than dreadlocks, afros and box braids, blacker than black preachers, I'm blacker than black Jesus, I'm blacker than Exodus, Romans, Colossians and Ephesians, I'm blacker than all your cabinets that's holding all of your seasons, I'm blacker than breaking out into worship for no reason, I'm blacker than Listerine, I'm blacker than Mr. King, left every voice and sing until earth and heaven ring, blacker than Steve Harvey, I'm blacker than Marcus Garvey and all of my ancestors that made it possible for me, blacker than Jim Crow, the Underground Railroad, my fist is up and I'm proud, my nigga, and I say it loud, I'm black.